The crystal chandeliers sparkled above, laughter echoed across marble floors, and silver cutlery clinked softly against fine porcelain. In the heart of a luxury restaurant where billionaires, politicians, and celebrities dined, a young waitress stood quietly, her tray balanced in trembling hands. She wore a simple black and white uniform, her hair neatly tied back, and though her eyes carried warmth, they also carried a quiet weight of untold struggles. That night, one arrogant man, the kind who measured human worth by the numbers in their bank account, decided to humiliate her. With a cruel smirk, he looked her up and down, then sneered for everyone to hear, "Uneducated people like you should be grateful to serve us." A wave of mocking laughter rolled across the room, cutting into her like knives. Yet she didn't flinch, she didn't break. She inhaled slowly, steadying her heartbeat. And then, like a scene from a film about dignity and truth, she calmly replied in 5 different languages. The laughter died instantly, forks froze mid-air, glasses stopped clinking, and the arrogant billionaire who thought money made him superior suddenly found himself silenced, his arrogance crumbling in front of the entire restaurant. This isn't just a story about a billionaire and a waitress. It's a story about resilience, dignity, and the power of knowledge that no one can take away. If you believe in the strength of kindness, respect, and true intelligence over arrogance, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Wins, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us spread stories that uplift hearts and open eyes. The restaurant was Étoile d'Or, one of the most prestigious dining spots in the city, where chandeliers dripped with gold and every table was dressed in silk linen. It was the kind of place where a single dinner could cost more than a waitress's monthly salary. For Elena, the 22-year-old waitress working that evening, it was just another night of long hours and forced smiles. Elena came from a modest background. Her father, a literature teacher, had passed away when she was just 16, leaving her mother to raise 3 children. Her mother worked tirelessly, stitching clothes late into the night to keep food on the table. Despite the hardships, Elena had always been a lover of words. She borrowed books from libraries, scribbled translations in tattered notebooks, and taught herself languages while riding the bus to her part-time jobs. She spoke softly, carried herself humbly, and though she wore no diamonds, she carried something far more valuable, an unshakable grace. That evening, table 7 was reserved for Richard Halden, a billionaire investor known as much for his empire as for his arrogance. Halden wore arrogance like a tailored suit. His voice boomed across rooms, and he had a cruel habit of measuring people by how useful they were to him. With him were influential businessmen, journalists, and socialites, an audience eager to laugh at his jokes, no matter how cruel. When Elena approached the table with the menu, Halden narrowed his eyes at her. "You look nervous," he said, loudly enough for nearby tables to hear. "First time serving people like us?" Elena gave a polite smile. "Not the first time, sir." "What would you like to order?" But Halden wasn't interested in food. He was interested in dominance. "Tell me," he said, leaning back in his chair, "did you even go to college? Or are you just one of those uneducated types, serving tables until you marry some poor fool?" The words struck the air like whips. His table erupted in laughter. Other diners turned their heads, some amused, some uncomfortable. Elena's cheeks burned, but her eyes did not drop. She felt the humiliation press against her, yet something stronger rose inside her. A quiet fire that had always carried her through nights of hunger and mornings of doubt. She set the tray down, straightened her posture, and looked Halden directly in the eyes. First, in fluent French, she said calmly, "L'éducation nécessite pas avec de l'argent. Elle vit dans elle-même. Education cannot be bought with money. It lives within the soul." The laughter dimmed. Several guests glanced at each other in surprise. Then, without pause, she spoke in Spanish. "La verdadera riqueza es el conocimiento, no las cifras en una cuenta bancaria." True wealth is knowledge, not numbers in a bank account. Halden blinked. The smirk on his face faltered. She continued, this time in Italian, "Il rispetto si guadagna con dignità, non con arroganza." Respect is earned with dignity, not arrogance. The room grew quieter. Forks clinked nervously against plates. Even the pianist in the corner slowed his playing, his fingers hovering mid-key. Then she shifted into German, "Menschen sind net weniger wert, nur weil sie dienen. Der wahre Adel liegt im Herzen." So people are not worth less just because they serve. True nobility lies in the heart. And finally, in fluent Mandarin, Her voice steady, she concluded, "Wealth may fade, but wisdom and dignity never will." Silence. Thick, heavy, stunned silence. The billionaire's face drained of color. For the first time, Richard Haldon had no clever retort, no booming laugh. He sat frozen, his lips parted slightly, as if words had abandoned him. Then, slowly, like a ripple spreading across still water, the silence turned into something else. Applause. It began with one diner at a nearby table, then another, then the whole restaurant. Strangers stood, clapping, some even whistling, not just for her command of languages, but for her courage, her dignity, her refusal to be crushed under cruelty. Elena didn't bow, didn't gloat. She simply picked up her tray, nodded politely, and walked away. That night, she was not just a waitress. She was a reminder that true intelligence isn't always wrapped in degrees, wealth, or titles. It's in resilience, empathy, and the strength to rise with dignity when others try to push you down. News of the incident spread quickly. Several guests at the restaurant were journalists, and by the next morning, stories about the waitress who spoke 5 languages were everywhere. Social media erupted with clips of her calm yet powerful response. Suddenly, Elena was no longer invisible. Offers poured in, universities offering scholarships, organizations inviting her as a speaker, even publishing houses asking her to write her story. But Elena didn't let it change her heart. She continued helping her mother, teaching her siblings, and serving tables until she could transition to something bigger. What mattered most to her wasn't fame, but the message she had carried in her soul all along, that dignity is greater than wealth and kindness is the truest form of intelligence. As for Richard Haldon, he avoided the restaurant for months, embarrassed by the story that shadowed him everywhere. For once, money couldn't buy him dignity. If this story moved you, remember, what the world needs more than billionaires is people with heart, humility, and respect. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Wins, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message today. Together, we can make respect and kindness go viral.